Ben, first of all, can I just get your reaction to the Scottish Cup draw? Obviously, you're going to be playing Celtic in the semi-final. How exciting is that for you lot? And is it the chance to almost get revenge for that League Cup final defeat?
Yeah, it's exciting. And obviously, last year that was the tie for the semi-final as well when we won it, and then we obviously came through that in a good game. So yeah, it's one to look forward to. Back to Hampden, and a challenge that we'll, like I say, look forward to in Mellish.
You talk about last year's semi-final. Obviously, you beat them, went on to win the cup. Do you almost feel easier? Would you prefer them in the semi-final, or do you feel it doesn't make a difference, or do you take confidence from that previous semi-final victory against them?
Well, I think we've done it before, as recently as last year. So there's no reason why we can't do it again. I think to win the cup, you have to obviously play the teams that are doing well. So we had an idea that we'd probably come across them at some point, and then obviously if it was in the semi-final or the final, we'd need to beat them to win the cup. So
coming back to this weekend, how do you feel the team has bounced back from League Cup final defeat? Just wins ever since then, and how do you feel the team's form is at the moment?
Yeah, I think that was important to get back to the elite form straight away, and we've managed to do that. I think that we've just picked up where we left off, which was what we were obviously aiming to do, and I think that the most recent winning the league was a good performance, and obviously we're just focusing on ourselves and then trying to get this win on Saturday and take us into the break in a good form.
Does it go without saying that the cup semi-final against Celtic is the most important of the 3 games against Celtic still remaining, or do you hold out any hope for the league at this point?
Well, every game against them is a big game, obviously. So we'll just take one at a time, and when we come to which one, we're trying our best to get a result and bolster our position in either the cup or the league. 6 games against Celtic this season, can you get too much of a good thing, or are you all for it? No, I enjoy it. I missed the one away at the start of the season, so I haven't actually played away yet. But the atmosphere is when it's that game is brilliant, probably the best I've ever experienced. So yeah, they're definitely the games, and for me the more the better.
The semi-final victory last season and the final defeat a couple of weeks ago, what was the difference between those 2 games, if anything?
I mean, I obviously wasn't here last year, but I think it's fine margins really. I think that there's it's if we can take our chances and perform to our ability, then I think that we can win on any occasion.
Is there a feeling, Ben, that I know you weren't here last season, but the squad needs to win this semi-final game so that you get to a cup final and you can use that going into next season, having suffered the final defeat a couple of weeks ago?
I think there's been a focus on obviously every game that we play, but this cup, knowing that we won it last year, to keep it, and there's been a focus throughout the rounds so far, so that won't change going forward.
What's it like being in the middle of an Old Firm game? You've played 2 now. There's a big difference playing at Hampden. Obviously, it's a split section of fans there.
Yeah, I think that especially second half in the home game, we fed off our crowd really well. At Hampden, it's a special atmosphere. I've played there obviously in the semi-final where we had majority of the stadium, and then the split, and I think that the atmosphere at both was brilliant.
Does it, do you think it takes on added significance this cup semi-final? Does it take on added significance this cup semi-final in light of what happened in the League Cup final?
I think that it's a semi-final of a cup, and we want to win trophies, and that's the significance it takes for me. It's going to be a tough game, but like I say, it's not our next game. We've got time to prep for it. And at the minute, we're just focusing on Motherwell at the weekend.
What are your thoughts going into the Motherwell game in terms of where the team's at the moment?
I think the flow in the Hibs game was good. I think that it was a strong performance from us. I think that obviously it's the last one of the batch of fixtures before the break, so I think we need one big 90 minutes, and I think if we perform at our levels, then we can win the game and then move on.
Ben, how do you excuse me, sorry, how are you enjoying being back in regularly now? That's a long run of games for you, next to Connor. How are you enjoying it, and what would you, not how do you rate your own form, but are you happy with your performances and being next to Connor, etc.?
I think that I always knew that once I got minutes and game time, then I could settle into the team. It was obviously frustrating for the first 6 months because I've kind of had to deal with that, not having the full pre-season for the last 2 or 3 years, and it's kind of hampered each season of mine. So it's good to get in and play, and I feel comfortable playing. When you first get in the team, you just want to kind of go under the radar and just not make mistakes and just play it nice and steady, and then you can kind of build from there. So I feel like I'm at a stage now where I can show a bit more what I can do, and I've got that reassurance that my fitness is going to be fine.
Managers recently spoke about potentially moving to a 3 at the back. How would that suit you, and is that something you would enjoy? You're naturally left-sided anyway, so would you be comfortable on the left side of a 3 or central? How do you feel about that suggestion?
I've played both in the past. I've got experience in a 3 and a 4, and I think that as long as the team is in cohesion, then it would suit. I think we've got players that it would suit, and I think everyone's together and following what the manager wants to do. And yeah, like I say, I've played a number of games, and as recently as last year at Sheffield, and then before that at Fleetwood in a 3, and felt comfortable.